Coming up, Debbie gathers scientific evidence.
I like the fact that the scientific evidence behind the footprint cast with Dr. Meldrum is scientifically based.
And later, the team goes on the hunt for Bigfoot.
I had barely fallen asleep when I heard some kind of commotion. Bill, did you hear that? Yeah.
Oh. New Bounce Awakenings. Let's.
After we met with the doctor, we decided, you know what, we have to go on an expedition. We have to see if Bigfoot is real. So we hired Autumn Williams, who's an expedition specialist. She's gonna take us out into the field, and hopefully we'll be able to track the big guy.
I got started doing this. We lived in the foothills of Mount Rainier. So I was about 3 years old, and we came around a corner. And as we did, there was an adult creature and a juvenile creature standing in the pathway. It was amazing. I mean, even as a 3-year-old, I have memories of this thing's eyes and how intense the gaze was. And so ever since then, I've been really fascinated by this subject. And we're going to be looking for something that supposedly doesn't exist, but that has scared very many people, about, let's say, maybe 300 people a year we get reports from.
It's almost once a day, every day.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a map of the general area. We've got red for sightings, yellow for tracks, green is for smell reports or other types of reports, like people having stuff thrown at them. So as you can see, this area here has a lot of activity.
We're going to help her with some of the equipment that she uses and actually try and find Bigfoot ourselves.
This is a digital predator collar, and this is something that we're going to be using. It's programmed with 32 digital quality sounds. There's wounded rabbits, that kind of thing, and wounded deer. I mean, which is an excellent tool for us.
Wow.
But what I've also done is I've customized this with purported Sasquatch recordings.
Wow, can we hear one?
Mm-hmm.
When I heard the sounds, all I could think of was the people in Northern Oregon are doing some freaky things on their own time.
You guys have one more task tomorrow morning. I need you to go to a butcher shop and pick up some beef liver,
Bait.
rabbit meat,
We heard they like to eat the liver first.
and bacon.
Autumn told us that to bait the Sasquatch, we should put out raw meat. So I'm thinking, all right, this is a carnivore that eats meat. I'm made of meat. I wasn't too sure how happy I was at that whole thought.
I really do hope that we have some kind of a encounter, because I would really like to see how they react.
Autumn seems like she really knows what she's doing, and she's going to lead us on a great expedition.
I think Autumn maybe saw something when she was a kid. I don't know. It was obviously real to her, but you know what? There are a lot of other people that have had so-called encounters and experiences, and I'd say we go try to talk to some of them.
The team decided that it was important to speak to some Bigfoot witnesses that have actually had encounters with Sasquatch himself. But we also wanted to make sure we got a look at those casts, which I found to be very compelling evidence. So I left the guys and went to see Dr. Jeff Meldrum, the foremost expert in scientific Bigfoot evidence.
I'm looking forward to using some of the forensic techniques I employ in my work as a crime scene technician in helping to solve this Bigfoot mystery.
Here's my lab where the cast collection is kept. There's well over 150, nearly 200 casts here assembled. Debbie, under some circumstances, a footprint cast can actually pick up the fine skin ridge detail of the foot. And one of the ways that we can help to visualize this in the vein of crime scene investigation is to create a thin latex peel of the surface.
Well, humans and primates have friction-rich skin on our hands and feet, which means that we have lines going in patterns on our fingertips and on our hands. What we're looking for is sort of a rough, really well-defined dermal ridge of the feet, because they walk around barefoot.
There's actually evidence of healed scars.
And you can actually see it has some of the characteristics of human fingerprints, bifurcations, short ridges, ending ridges.
That's right.
For For someone to mimic a footprint, I don't think that they would really take the time out to learn about dermal ridge patterns of primates and insert them into the footprint. I like the fact that the scientific evidence behind the footprint cast with Dr. Meldrum is really scientifically based. So my team members and I have viewed the Patterson-Gimlin film, the famous film from 1967. I'm wondering if you have an opinion on what makes that video so real, and do you have any direct physical evidence from that case?
Well, I do. Right here, in fact, these are examples of footprints from that film site. We can watch this film and see the foot of whatever this is go through the precise motions that would be necessary to leave these types of footprints. In other words, these are not just some simple artifice, some prosthetic foot.
I've left some of my doubt behind. My mind is now open. I'm going to take a better look at seeing if we can find some actual evidence. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Well, for me, it's not a question of belief. My position is based on the evidence as I have encountered it and dealt with it. And based on that evidence, I think that there's an extremely high probability that an animal does exist.
Coming up, the team hears eyewitness accounts.
I realized that wasn't a bear, it was something with a human footprint.
And later, Rob transforms into Bigfoot. But can he pull off his own hoax film?
We decided to find some witnesses because, look, if you're going to investigate Bigfoot, you have to talk to some people who say that they've seen him.
I spent 5 years as a bartender, and let me tell you, I've heard a lot of BS in my life, and I think my BS detector is pretty good.
How you doing? I'm Rob.
Hey, Rob, I'm Luke.
So, Luke, tell us. We heard you saw Bigfoot.
We saw something step into the center of the road. When it stepped into our headlights, it kind of turned towards me to where I could tell that it had 2 legs, broad shoulders. He was at least 10 to 15 feet in front of us.
10 to 15 feet.
Pretty close.
Now, Luke, you know I gotta ask you. You seem like a nice kid. Were you guys drinking this day? Or
No, we weren't.
No screwing around, no funny stuff?
No.
Could it possibly have been a bear?
No. But what I did see was the print. And that's when I realized that wasn't a bear. It was something with a human footprint.
I found Luke pretty much totally believable. I didn't sense that he was making this up.
The second witness was named Phil. He's a very concise gentleman.
Turned around and something, I don't know, about 7 feet tall, took a step in the middle of the creek and across. And it smelled real musty smell to it.
What color did it look to be?
I'd just have to say probably a 2-tone brown.
Did you go inspect the area where you saw it, like for footprints or to see any evidence of what had passed through there?
No, I just got out of there.
Did you stay?
It was big and fast, and I wasn't planning on hanging around. I've been in the woods my whole life, and I've never seen anything like it.
I gotta tell you, he seemed pretty credible himself. I can't really see a motivation these guys would have had from saying they saw Bigfoot. I mean, it's definitely not gonna get you a hot date. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna stop bright and early. First thing, we're gonna hit the butcher shop. We're gonna get all of Bigfoot's favorite foods and see if we can tempt them. Now we're talking.
We just take the room.
This is my liver supply.
Yeah, that's probably a perfect amount.
This place has never been broken into by a Sasquatch?
Never know.
I think Autumn said 3 pounds. That's all I'm...
Okay. That is a beef liver?
That's a beef liver.
Whoa.
All righty. How much is this? That's a lot more than 3 pounds, that's for sure.
So we got the liver.
You got your liver.
We got to get...
We got the rabbit.
Got the rabbit.
And then
bacon.
The bacon.
Rabbit, quick.
And I need a roast beef sandwich, too.
Woohoo! Sasquatch, here we come.